What's going on, everybody? Another good old Sons of Anarchy review. It is the the third 90th minute episode of the season. Um, it was actually a really intense episode. I myself was really impressed with the storyboard and the plotting that was brought into this one. This one happened to be a little more violent than compared to the previous episode. This one kind of had its tricks up its sleeve. And I only put it this way because there is a very new character that has come into play. I don't know if this guy is part of the actual screen that'll be put up there, unless he's some sort of antagonist for the next upcoming season, or if he's just a minor character that's going to end up being killed in season 5, episode 13, or episode 12. It could be happening anytime. The character happens to be the name Toric. This is a character that I myself was pretty interested in kind of seeing last night, because with the way the opening scene of this episode would had to have been the best opening scene to any Sons episode for a long time, as I've noticed. It's when this cop puts him in an escalating ape, and next thing you know, he shoots him. Well, not shoots him, but like takes shots at him, shoots him style. I call it that. It was actually a pretty intense scene to watch because, for a second I thought Otto was going to be killed off, and I mean, even though that he's done a lot of shit to the club, his character getting killed off would be a giant exception. I was just taking a good look at something up in front. I just said to my camera. What then cut off is something different. We cut off to the club, we cut off to Clay, we cut off to all the characters again, but this time, because of what happened with Otto, federal case probably will put Tara in prison, maybe worse. And another thing about the Tora character is that he follows her towards the end of the episode last night. Now, this could lead to some kind of confrontation that is ready to be explained in the next episode, or this is just a setup for antagonism or threat. Because when I read the bio, he's a former U.S. Marshal, so it just brings to show you that this is cops, and cops are going to be up their ass big time this season. But the main focus of this episode was between Juice, Jax, Clay, the whole triangle of death. The main purpose of this episode was to get the documentation needed for the rat of Clay, his betrayal, his traitor to the club. Unfortunately, that did not happen as predicted. In the early episode itself, it had showed the character Jax and Juice talk about time is up. Now, this was an interesting point because in the first episode of this season, the whole entire maintenance that I had towards it was, what will be the outcome of this and how will it end? Because honestly, right now, the episodes have gone so vivid that we could be expecting more character deaths within the next 2 episodes left. And I only point this out because I can honestly see a few of the good characters that we've come to know are going to get killed for the asshole characters. And this episode kind of proved its point because we nearly had a lot of death experiences. One of the main points of this episode was the entire Nero's club. It was like a sort of like a party. Now Nero and his gang have some sort of argument over guns, and Jax gives them the deal to go get some guns at their own little place, and they meet up at the desert or some sort of place. I forgot the name of it. Next thing you know, they start blasting at the people. It was Happy, Tig, Chibs, and Jax, and next thing you know, Happy gets shot near the brain. He almost could have gotten killed. That's what I'm saying about near-death experience for some of these characters. I mean, it could just happen any second now. And what I found interesting about the episode itself was that in the episode, one of the things I really did not get out of it was the relationship issue between Clay and Tig how it died off so easily in the first episode, and we once again come towards this again in episode 11, over 10 episodes later. I enjoyed the scene, however, because I thought it was really creative. I think this is a great point to say that, yes, someone is going to be killed off eventually. And I think both these characters are going to die very soon, with the exception of a few. The next scene that I kind of thought was a little bit out of place was the abduction scene. This was taking place immediately after and the scene with Bobby, Jax, in discussion. They're on this road, and next thing you know, this van, because earlier in the episode, of course, good old Danny Trejo and Benito Martinez's characters took the character of Jax, the Galindo cartel, and they talked with Clay, and it's basically Jax took a bullet and got the club out of the gun deal and gave it to this Chinese buyer, Henry Lin. So it kind of gives us the good exception that they're out of guns, but that gives us a bigger change. And it pulled them out of guns and drugs, so, gives them something that Jackson didn't want to do. And, Torek, the character of Torek, I want to put up some information here. I'm not talking about the episodes and now more. I want to talk about the idea, the prospects of some of these episodes. I really enjoyed the Torek character. It was sort of like he's an Avenger of some sort. He's coming in there, and, a lot of people in the promo that they saw last week, they spotted an Opie wannabe or some guy that looks like Opie, but kind of doesn't give Opie's perspective. Now, to clear this up, this guy that is coming into play, he's an Avenger, as I call him. I think he has something to do with the nurse that Otto killed, because there's no way that he would go to Otto for no random reason, unless he's some sort of Avenger for Pope and he's white. Another thing that really got to me in this episode was the conversation risk between Bobby, Jax, and the rest of the crew when they were at the little stock-up house when Juice found the intel, but Clay found the intel beforehand, and I guess it led to some change in plan. Of course, Jax was pissed and punched Juice. And I have a feeling come next week, Juice is going to end, he's going to die. And I think that this will be the stick of gravel. I think 3 major characters are going to go down in history in the next 2 episodes. Juice is going to be a definite due to his ideas and due to his rat betrayal. Tig, come episode 13, I think it's going to be a giant switchback. And Clay. There is going to be the intel. It's going to come out because of the promo prediction for episode 12, Dorothy, I think it's called. Let me check. You gotta pause it if you want to see it with close view. It is showing Jax punching Clay, so it just gives you the good exception that there is going to be some bloodbaths coming down the final 2 episodes. Other than that, that's all I just wanted to jot down. That's about it. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.